what's the connection between CBT and your financial wellness? Most people's thoughts where the money concerned is negative, like, man, I'll never get out of this debt, or I'm gonna be struggling on this job for the rest of my life, or I have more a month than money. So most people's thoughts around their finances are limited and they're distorted. So guess what? If you have limited and distorted thoughts about yourself and your money, those are going to transfer to certain type of emotions. So catch the sequence here now. Distorted thoughts about how you see yourself, like, man, I'll never get to the place of being financially independent, or I'll never get to the place of being financially free. Those type of thoughts lead to the worry, the stress, the anxiety. You may have made some bad mistakes in your finances in your past, and now you feel a level of shame and guilt about things that you did when you were younger. And as a result, those emotions, those thoughts and those emotions, they lead to specific type of behaviors. So a lot of the clients that I work with, sometimes they avoid opening bills because they just don't want to face the reality that your bills are a reflection of you, in a sense. Sometimes it results in overspending. So I know you all have probably heard of retail therapy. So if I'm feeling a certain way emotionally, well, I think I'm going to go shopping. And if you're treating yourself to something, nothing wrong with going shopping if you're feeling good. But a lot of times the behaviors that we have in our finances, they come from unhealthy places. So we just want to make sure that when you spend your money, you're doing it from a place of health, from a place of wellness, and not because you feel stressed out or you feel worried, or you're guilty, so you don't want to really take time to go through your finances. So we want to help you to take care of the root issues so we can address some of these behaviors. Another one might be impulsive spending. So if I see it, I'm going to get it. I don't care. I work hard for this money. So that could come from a place of feeling like you're going to run out, and so anything that you see, I just want to go ahead and get it now. I want to enjoy life now because I don't know what could happen. And then another aspect or negative behavior, just no planning. And here again, this is not to put you in any guilt or condemnation. A lot of times we just weren't taught these things. And sometimes negative aspects of money comes from past money experiences. For instance, I know I used to always hear my parents, they used to fight over money on Friday when it was payday. My father had a certain part of the bills that he was supposed to pay. And when he didn't have enough to cover his, he would never just say, um, you know what, the deal, I'm a little bit short this week. He would always make it seem like, well, you making all that money. So if you making all that money, I don't see what the problem is. You can cover that little bit that I don't have this week. And from that, I always kind of took away from that. I'm just going to save, 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 save as much as I can because I don't ever want to be in a place where I don't have enough money. And so what that caused for me, like, I really didn't know how to enjoy money sometimes because I was so fearful of running out. So that's another emotions that a lot of people experience with finances is fear. But we don't want that to be the case with you. So that's why we're going through how to use this framework to correct some of those root issues. So thoughts lead to emotions, leads to behaviors, and guess what? Those behaviors over time lead to financial habits. And financial habits are the repeated behaviors and decisions that are currently shaping your financial present and future. So the crazy thing is, a lot of times we don't even recognize the financial habits that we have. I know there was a point in my life where after I had been working for 20 years, it just dawned on me like I didn't have anything to really show in terms of investments and retirement for these 20 years that I was working. And I couldn't figure out, like, what in the world is going on? Like, I've been working for 20 years and I was making good money, but I couldn't figure out like what's happening to all of this money. And so what was happening, like I told you, I would save, but I would always spend from where I was putting the money at that I saved. And so rather than really focusing on putting money aside for retirement, I would just put it into a savings account. And once I realized that, man, I deserve to enjoy this money, so I'm going to start spending it, I would save it and spend it, save it and spend it. And I engaged in this habit and didn't catch it for over 20 years until it really hit me one day, just like, I'm going to be retiring in another 20 years. And if I don't do something different now, I'm going to be in a place where I'm not going to be in a position to retire comfortably. And even that thought of retirement is a part of a thought that we were given when we were young. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But here again, those behaviors, those negative behaviors over the course of time can lead to financial habits. And those habits are shaping your present and your future. All right. So those financial habits then create an identity. And I call this your inner money identity. And this is your secret perception your secret perception and beliefs about yourself and where money about yourself and money and finances. So you see how this is stuff that no one may ever know about you. Like we can see the outward behaviors, but we don't really see the inner workings of how you see yourself. And so a lot of times I know where this inner money identity is concerned, this may look like somebody who doesn't really want to let people know that they feel insecure about themselves. So they'll use money and buying a whole lot of things to try to create an identity for themselves that make them appear a certain way, but their inner money identity is secretly really one of fear, insecurity, and almost a lack of self confidence about oneself. So we really dig down. So when I'm working with my clients, these are the type of things that I'm working on helping them address. And it's not just about changing how you spend and changing um, your investing in your savings. Those are all good, and those are behaviors that have to be addressed as well. But we got to get to these root issues of thoughts, emotions, and your inner money identity and how you see yourself. So I'll just pause for you to think for a second. How would you describe your inner money identity? What's your secret perceptions and beliefs about yourself where your money and finances are concerned? Do you feel confident where your finances are concerned? Do you feel inferior where your money and finances are concerned? Do you feel a sense of guilt or shame? Do you feel like you're a failure? So not for you to judge yourself, but you just need to be aware. This is how I see myself. And finally, all of these things lead to creating your financial lifestyle. And I define your financial lifestyle as how your finances daily support, enhance, or limit the life you choose to live. So a lot of times we just settle for the lifestyle that has been presented before us, but you think that you're living the way that you're living because of how much money that you're making on your job. That's part of it, but the real truth is your financial lifestyle is really being dictated by all of these things that we're talking about. So if you want to increase or enhance your financial lifestyle, if you want to get to a place of financial independence and get to a place of financially free where you don't have to depend on your paycheck, or to the place where you can start to create and generate generational wealth for your children and your children's children, you're going to have to start to change some of these areas that I'm talking about. It's not just a matter of you trying to find another job that pays more money, because it's but so many hours in the day. And even if you get more money, if you're still operating by the wrong thoughts, the wrong emotions, and the wrong behaviors, you're going to stay stuck in the same position.